Hello and welcome. I'm Damon Bruce. Good to have you along for the NBA here on 2K Sports. It's Tuesday Hoops, and it's next. It'll be Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls facing off against the New York Knicks. And we're ready for tip in New York City. Kevin Harlan and the crew with the call.
All eyes are on the Eastern Conference in this game as the New York Knicks play this one at home. Kevin Harlan here, joining me, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and the entire 2K Sports crew. Brought to you by State Farm. Let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah, they're inside. Rip Hamilton out there with Derrick Rose. And it's Butler in at the 3 slot. And for the Knicks, Melo and Amari at the forward slots. Davis is out there with Jeremy Lin. And it's Chandler in at the 5 down low. Outside Anthony. He kicks it to Stoudemire. 6 to shoot. Fires the 3. And Anthony is good for 3.
Thibodeau really connected with the players on the Bulls roster early on. I mean, Derrick Rose attributed the huge jump in his game and what he made defensively to the coaching of Tom Thibodeau.
They strike right back with a 3 of their own.
Steve, that's a great way to respond after giving up the long ball.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Well, Tom Thibodeau gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. He said he knows he's facing an offense that can pick you apart if you sit back and let them do what they want. He told me, quote, on-the-ball pressure is key. If we can get up in their face after they cross the timeline, we'll be able to disrupt their rhythm. Let's see if they're successful, Kevin.
Very good, Doris. Thanks. Clark, you think they'll be able to make that strategy work for them?
Well, we'll see, Kevin. I mean, holding opponent's shooting percentage down comes down to trust in your defensive scheme and then making the effort to challenge every shot.
That's
Steve,
right.
what do you think?
Well, yeah, trust is the key word that Clark just mentioned, and I think the aggressiveness, the ability to close out on shooters, make your rotations, but really challenge those shooters. That's going to be key.
The Knicks making a switch here. Douglas is checked in, and Anthony sends it back. On defense, Chicago. And here's Douglas, and Rose picks him up defensively. There's the triple, and the Knicks hit again from deep. Here's Rose. It's a 3-point game.
Well, fellas, Melo coming over to the Knicks, a big story around the league, really, as the Knicks like to make headlines, and they did with that move. Some, though, can criticize New York for being more concerned with being on the front page than actually winning. I'm not sure I quite...
And Rose throws it down hard. Here's another look with the Sprite Slam Cam.
Now, that's just rubbing it in, fellas.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are... Not going to forget that one anytime soon.
And stolen by Hamilton. And they're moving it up. Up high to stuff the alley-oop.
Well, they really look to run immediately after that turnover.
Well, that's how you cash in. You don't want to waste any time after the turnover. Go at it right away.
Here is Douglas. It's stolen by Rose. For the finish, rips down the breakaway slam.
That was a ferocious Facebook finish.
It's easy to forget he plays the point, isn't it?
Well, he still looks to pass first, but if nothing's there, he will not hesitate to take it up strong to the hoop.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here.
The Bulls were a tough team while traveling last season and ended up with the second most road wins in the Eastern Conference, trailing only the Miami Heat.
Baron Davis is checked in for Tony Douglas. Here's Stoudemire. Lin, can they get it? Rip Hamilton with the rebound. Clark talking about the Bulls. On the road, they got those 26 road wins by, I think, getting really tough.
Well, they're such a good rebounding team, guys, and when you rebound on the road, it gives you a chance to win.
And the transition defense now, guys, non-existent, invisible.
3 straight fast break hoops. I mean, the D has been sleepwalking.
And he converts the layup. Hamilton's got his first 2 points.
Wow, hot start offensively.
Racing out to that quick lead. I mean, they're scoring and shooting with a lot of confidence.
Chandler. And that one falls, coming off of Davis's feed.
Finger roll. That's pure style, guys. I like that. Well, last season, Baron Davis was traded away from his hometown. Good team effort here, and that's what's gotten them this double-digit lead.
You know, I tell you what, Steve, the way they've come out here in the first quarter, they might blow them out of the water.
The wall down. Checked in for Chicago. Korver comes in for Richard Hamilton.
Hey, guys, when Noah came out of Florida, he was really known more for his speed than his bulk, but he's really done a nice job in the weight room. He's added a lot of strength, and he trains all year round now to handle the grind of the season, and it's paid off. He can really battle with those big guys down low.
Here's Stoudemire. That's blocked. The Bulls leading by 11. Here's Korver for 3. That's good. Continuing our conversation about Joakim Noah, if you had to guard the Dwight Howards of the league, you'd beef up too.
Yeah, I think you've got to be careful, though. You've got to make sure that you add good weight and strength more than just weight. Some guys that have a certain type of frame are better served to maintain that frame and just try to add strength. You've got to really be careful in balancing that, and I think Noah has done a pretty good job of that thus far.
Did you learn that firsthand when you played?
Yeah, definitely. You've got to be comfortable with your body and understand what kind of weight you can add effectively. It's not about just weight, it's about strength and weight in the right proportion.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Faulkman comes in for Amari Stoudemire. And it's Brown in for Carmelo Anthony. A nice shot by Lynn.
And guys, you just gotta love this offensive skill set. I mean, that's what he does and that's who he is.
Puts it up. The finger roll finish at the bucket. 14 points for Rose.
Great start here early on, but they've got to continue to play well to maintain that lead.
Boy, I tell you what, really nice start for him here, guys. Getting after it both ends of the floor, you got to like that.
Here is Lynn. He's got 5. Davis dishes to Bulkman. That's in there. Davis with the assist.
Carving them up inside there, Kevin. I mean, the defense has been vulnerable in there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight field goals in the paint area. That's really good offense.
Davis against Rose. It's stolen by Davis.
The reaction was so quick. Incredible defense.
And that one's good.
You gotta wonder about the effort defensively. They did not get back there.
Yeah, you know what? A beautiful finish one way or the other, though.
Lets it go from the wing. Rose, good. Rose has got 16 points. Outside, Davis, and the Knicks hit again from deep.
Well, everyone seems to have a hot hand here early on.
You know, if they keep up this scoring pace, we'll definitely see some big point totals from both of these teams.
Great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send them to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
And he's good on the second. Just 4 seconds left to play here in the first. No good trying to beat the buzzer. The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback.
And the Knicks last season did not use their bench very often. Kind of typical of a Mike D'Antoni team. He relies heavily on his starters, and that was the case a year ago.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And New York looking at who they've got. Stoudemire and Turioff in the middle. Douglas and Fields, their men in the backcourt. And it's Anthony in at the small forward position. And the action on hold as it appears there's been an injury. Yep, he's definitely in a bad way out there right now. Tough to see.
Well, let's just hope it's a bump or a bruise and that he's back out on the floor soon.
You know, Steve, just one of those things. It does happen in the course of battle. We'll see.
And Fields kicks to Stoudemire. And it's Stoudemire slamming it down. Now let's take a look at it once again with our Spike Slam Cam. Here is Watson. Steve, back to what you were saying about that New York Knicks bench. A big part of that was they were so short-handed. Remember Clark when they got that trade and trying to, bring Melo up to speed on what they were doing?
No question. I mean, it got to Melo that trade, but it also left a few players tired because they lost some of their bench depth. Could have been why they saw so many late-season injuries as players were maybe a bit worn out. You think about Chauncey Billups going down late. Interesting discussion.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Guys, a lot of the talk last year was about Coach Tom Thibodeau's defensive game plan, and rightly so. They were one of the most consistent defensive teams in the entire NBA. But an overlooked storyline for the Chicago Bulls was the motion offense Coach Thibodeau introduced as well. Derrick Rose said the offense is great. If I don't have the ball, I'm always moving. Everyone is moving, and that makes us hard to guard. Guys?
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
And with the players on that team, they could run the motion offense to perfection.
Well, I think they have the talent, guys, especially with Derrick Rose running the show. Very tough to guard him and four other players who are cutting and moving at the same time.
Well, he was being overly optimistic there, thinking you could make that pass.
Wasted no time on that one. 7 points for Davis.
Well, we all know Baron Davis is so talented. When he's at his best, he can take over a game almost single-handedly. The question is, which Baron Davis is going to show up? He's a very inconsistent player.
Butler and the Bulls tack on 2 more. Here's Davis. 7 points in the game. New York calls timeout.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
And some changes for Chicago. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Gibson. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for C.J. Watson. It's stolen by Dang.
Great defensive work right there. The quick hands lead to the turnover.
And the basket by Rose. And with Baron Davis, when he flips that switch, he's one of the most dangerous players in the league, especially with a great crowd in back.
Well, we all saw the way he played against the Dallas Mavericks in that great series back in 2007 in front of that raucous, enthusiastic Golden State crowd. So it's in him, but he too is adding years and hasn't been known to take the best care of himself during the offseason. But if he's focused there... Good. Wow! Slamming it home off the alley-oop. Remarkable.
Well, his eyes got wide. As he went up for that one.
And he timed his leap perfectly to meet the pass at the top of its arc.
Anthony backing him down. Tries to keep it alive.
In this quarter alone, already 7 points off turnovers.
And that's why they're behind. I mean, they've been sloppy all quarter, and it's really starting to cost them.
Now here's Rose. He's guarded closely. Blocked again. Knicks trailed by 15. A moment for the Gatorade injury report.
Hey, Kevin, I spoke with head athletic trainer for the Bulls, Fred Tedeschi. He said it's a separated shoulder, a very painful injury to say the least. He's definitely out for the rest of the game, and it's unsure of the time frame beyond that.
Good stuff, Doris. Thanks, Clark. It's got to be a tough time for him.
Yeah, Kevin, you wish they weren't, but injuries are really a part of the game, and sooner or later, just about everybody has to deal with them in some form or fashion.
Well, hopefully we'll get some good news next time we have an update on him.
And that one's on target from the wing. Rose has got 21 in the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, they are really winning the turnover battle right now. I mean, not in the turnovers themselves, but the points they're getting off the turnover.
Well, that's always the key. Can you take advantage of another team's errors? And we're seeing them do that right now. How about the Bulls' improvement a year ago, guys? They won 62 games, up from 41 in the previous year. Once again, Chicago has become a dominant team.
Three-pointer, and the Knicks hit again from deep.
I like that. Run to the three-point line, find a wide-open shot.
The Bulls leading by 11, and dominant is the right word, as you mentioned, with the Bulls. They just ran away with the regular season.
Kevin, it's been a while since the Bulls had the best record in the NBA, but the way they came together, it wasn't really shocking. They were good defensively, and they had chemistry and cohesiveness offensively.
Pushing it up. The finish. Oh! Whips down the windmill jam.
Always some entertainment value when you go with the windmill jam.
Yeah, rim shaker and Steve a wrist breaker.
Outrageous. Man.
Here's Davis. He's got 10. Boozer picks him up. Tries for the alley-oop, and Rose throws it down hard.
Man, that's the problem when you don't protect the ball.
Exactly. When you surrender the ball like that, you put your defense at a huge disadvantage.
32 seconds left here in the second. It's 2-on-1. Butler kicks it to Noah.
And they'll slow it down, use a little clock.
Good call, partner. Hold it for the final one.
Here's Anthony. Knocks down the step-back J. Anthony's got 9 points now in the quarter. That will count. And he beat the buzzer, but it's no good. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Bulls lead by 15.
It's Tuesday in the NBA. We're here with the HP Halftime Report to tell you all about it. Chicago with the lead against the Knicks in New York. Physicality taking over the game. They are muscling their way around the paint. Through 2 quarters, Derrick Rose in complete control. Already up to 29 points and has been all over the court, adding a lot of steals to his scoring. And battling nonstop, the New York Knicks. No surprise, they've had some high-flying rejections, something they're good at. A great performance by Baron Davis in the first half. We're at halftime and still, he hasn't missed a shot. It's been a pure shooting exhibition. Some very impressive basketball being played by these two in today's game. Want to keep it going in the second. And now let's get the second half rolling. Here's Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. The Bulls leading by 15. Here's who Tom Thibodeau is starting the second half with. Bogans is out there with Carlos Boozer. Then there's Derrick Rose. Then it's Taj Gibson. And it's Butler in at the two spot.
And what a great season Tyson Chandler had for the Dallas Mavericks last year, guys. He shot a career-high 65% from the floor and really improved his free throw shooting as well, up to 74% from the line.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. Well, it's no secret that Tom Thibodeau's defensive scheme is very detailed, often relying on statistical breakdowns. As former NBA MVP Kobe Bryant says of his schemes, the guy's a lab rat. He'll stay in there and figure things out and figure percentages out and who's doing what. He really focuses on the task at hand. Guys, it's a proven method, that's for sure.
Thank you, Doris. You can't argue with the results of Thibodeau's work ethic.
No, that's for sure. And, having the success he's had as a defensive mind doesn't come by accident. I mean, this is a guy who puts in countless hours watching film and devising schemes.
Here's Rose, and Rose throws it down home. Here's a second look with the Sprite Slam Cam.
Yes, indeedy. Boy, I love that one. That's not just any plain dunk. That has some finesse.
That's an energizer, guys. That is an energizer.
It is, and that will lift the whole team up.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
I cannot agree with you more, Steve, in terms of what Tyson Chandler has brought to the Mavericks with his offense. I mean, we knew about his defense and rebounding. He had well established that as part of his arsenal. But his improvement on offense, that development, has been really kind of frosting on the cake.
Roger Fields checking in for New York.
And now 6 of their last 10 points from mid-range.
Got a jump shot really serving these guys pretty well.
And he was fouled on the way out. 2 free throws now for him.
Derrick Rose, the reigning MVP, didn't take his foot off the gas pedal in last year's playoff. He continued his outstanding play.
Well, back to Rose in the playoff, Mark, it seemed like each round teams would try and find ways to slow him down.
Well, yeah, Kevin, he had an answer for everybody except LeBron James. When Miami put LeBron on during that Eastern Conference Final series, there was nothing Rose could do. And so he's going to go back to the drawing board and continue to add to his game. He's got to continue to work on that outside shot. But, wow, and that was impressive defense by LeBron James.
Stolen by Boozer. The Bulls leading by 18. The kick outside to Butler. Shoots over Fields. And some very quick points for him on that possession. Butler's got 8 points. Here is Lynn. He's got 5. And Rose picks him up defensively. Lynn takes the Fields. Just 5 to shoot. And foul hard that down.
What a steal for the Knicks. You're finding a transfer from the second round. Fantastic season. Maybe the all-rookie team. And really good all-around player. Rebounder, defender, and can make a shot as well.
And Landry Fields on Stanford in senior season. Stevie, look at that. Taking scoring and rebounding. The Clark County eyebrows raining when they our teams calculate
You know what I think happened was he wasn't overly athletic. And teams started to look at what they thought he couldn't do instead of focusing on the things that he could do. Smart, tough, average over 20 games last year. Maybe winning plays, they don't come to the floor. I mean, he's at 50% of the field, 40% from three-point land this season. It's all team performance so much. He's made his case where it counts between the line.
And
Rose has become the cornerstone of this Chicago franchise. Last season, he became the first Bulls player to be named a starter in the All-Star game since Mike Gordon.
CJ Watson, he's checked in for Derrick Rose. Here is Watson. season. There would have been something between me and George Woodley for such a story franchise. So John,
Sometimes that's the way if you're not winning. You can have good players, they just don't quite get all-star now. They had some good players, but clearly Derrick Rose has made that a point because he's going to be a ready all-star as long as he's healthy. It's really difficult, but credit him. They seem to have a nice nucleus of support around the brothers. It's really important to not only being important, but also in the systems that we work.
Outside, takes a three. The shot is good. Hamilton's got 8 points.
But you got to get the ball out of his hands. Bring an extra defender and force somebody else to beat you.
I agree with you. Make him give it up. That was vicious. I mean, real vicious. One more around. Just say, you realize it's not my bad. No.
Nice.
This is finishing with a little emphasis, guys. Don't hold it back.
And a foul. The shot got on the way at that time, so he'll shoot right here.
The Knicks getting swept out of the playoffs 4-0 by the Celtics. Don't think that the series was that lopsided. In those first 2 games in Boston, could have gone either way.
And making a change here in the Knicks. Anthony's checked in, then for the Bulls. Boozer comes in for Joakim Noah. Sometimes gives him a Sunday for Richard Hamilton. And Boozer backs in. Open look. And he hits the jump shot. Watson's got his second basket of the game. Here is Glenn. He has 7. The feed down to Fields. And stolen by Watson. He feeds it up. Shot is off. And as we get through the first quarter, it's much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. A fantastic game for Derrick Rose in this one.
Yeah, double-double for the first 3 quarters, so he is giving them a huge boost.
Yeah, stat sheet stuffed up for a performance, making his presence known across the stat sheet.
It's the Bulls just dominating this one. Now let's check in with Doris for our spark of the game. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin, and you might have guessed. Derrick Rose is our bright spark. His team leans on him for so many of their rebounds, and he hasn't disappointed as he leads that category right now. We'll see if he can continue to carry that load, guys.
Good stuff, Doris. You know, Clarkie has really been the engine driving them today.
You know, quite honestly, they wouldn't be in the position they're in right now if it weren't for him, Kevin.
Yeah, they've been really leaning heavily on him, and he's come through in a big way, guys.
This is out there at Landry Fields. Then it's Ronaldo Ballmer. And then it's Anthony. And it's Stoudemire at the 5. Roaming the paint. So that's it on the floor for the Knicks. Changes up. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Now we'll shoot one more at the free throw line. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Chicago. Making a switch here, the Bulls. Boozer's checked in. Good for the three-point play.
Last season, the so-called melodrama, as Carmelo Anthony refused to sign an extension in Denver, forced his way to New York in the trade. And the story really dragged on all season long.
Here's Fields. Nails it from the high post. Here's Pargo. Takes the 3. Good on the shot. And the Bulls lead by 18.
Another fast break hoop. They're just outrunning their opponent here.
You know what, Steve? I think the defense has left themselves vulnerable, and they're learning the hard way that speed definitely key.
Yes, Steve talked about the Carmelo trade saga. Really an unwelcome distraction in a lot of ways. It hung over the players involved in Denver and in New York, and it took some attention away from the great season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more there. I mean, as things tend to do in this 24/7 information cycle, it just kind of lingered and hovered and hung around. But in the end, and he got his way. He desired to be in New York, a place where he grew up as a kid, and that motivated him to get to that place where he kind of considers home. So I think it's a good fit. Unfortunately, it took so long to happen, but the end result is a good one, I think, for him and the Knicks, and hopefully the Knicks.
They are just lighting him up from mid-range area.
You know, sometimes we forget about the value of the mid-range or in-between game. This team has made 8 of their last 10 with that shot, the in-between shot.
Yeah, they got the most out of that possession, guys.
Kicks to Fields. Here's Balkman.
Now, the Bulls had to battle some injuries last year, but it didn't slow them down one bit in their rampage through the East. Carlos Boozer missed time early. Joakim Noah missed a large chunk of the season as well, but it didn't slow them down. Now, even though they're down, I like their mentality. Work it inside and try to create some contact down low.
I like it as well. I mean, you just can't assume that you can shoot your way back into it when you're down. You got to grind it out, and part of that is getting the ball inside.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Tyson Chandler, he's checked in for Stoudemire. Mason comes in. For Landry Fields. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Baron Davis.
Yeah, he didn't try to get too cute on that one. He just simply threw it down.
Still, though, Steve, makes for a great highlight, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, anytime he dunks the ball, it's pretty to watch because he is athletic.
Gibson with the steal. Boozer passes to Bogans. Blocked. And they're able to recover. Here's Brewer. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot. Brewer's got 4 points now in the quarter. New York calls timeout.
Easy to see why he called this timeout. They've been allowing way too many shots around the basket, and that can't continue.
Stevie talked about the injuries. Boozer, Clark, you come to expect it a bit with the Bulls, but they didn't miss a beat.
They had the depth to make up for it. I mean, Boozer's injury clearly was a problem, but then Noah was out for a while as well, and they really missed his length and activity, particularly on defense and on the boards. Could you imagine their record if they had stayed healthy all year? It would have probably been close to that 70 mark.
Absolutely, you're right. And so he draws the foul on the shot on trip to the line to shoot 2.
Boy, what a trade that was a year ago. The Knicks giving up 4 starters to get Carmelo Anthony. And, of course, he's a superstar. And the old saying is you give up whatever it takes to get a star. And I think Carmelo is going to be great for New York over the years.
Gibson with the screen on Anthony. He used that pick just right.
Excellent teamwork to set up that hoop, Kevin. A sweet dime there.
Lynn kicks to Chandler. Gathers. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Steve, we're talking about the trade, one that seemed to work out well for really both teams. Clark, the Nuggets went on a nice run themselves to finish the season.
Yeah, I think it was a situation that's going to prove to be very beneficial, a win-win for Denver and New York. And I think I agree with Steve. I mean, when you have a chance to get a player in his prime of that caliber to go with another prime-time, high-caliber player in New York, I think you had to do it. You got to give up a lot to get a lot. But I think both teams are in good shape, and the Knicks perhaps in the best shape they've been in decades.
We knew Denver didn't have a whole lot of choices, but we knew the Knicks could certainly pull or not pull the trigger. And I think there's probably some division within their basketball front office if they should or should not make the trigger.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kevin. There probably was a lot of debate about that, and some landed on one side or the other, but I think they ended up in a good spot as an organization.
Stoudemire's checked in for the Knicks. Landry Fields comes in for Roger Mason. Here is Lynn. Anthony kicks to Stoudemire. 1:41 left in the game. Fields with the steal. Gibson with the steal. Back to Rose. Now Chandler defending. Got that bucket in no time at all. 40 points for Rose.
Yeah, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yep, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome now.
From about 16, and he knocks down the jumper. 21 points for Carmelo Anthony.
That's 10 straight points now coming in that mid-range jump shot area, guys.
Yeah, it is, and they're picking their spots and finding holes in the middle of that defense to get those shots off, and I think that's very good discipline they're showing us here.
Here's Rose. He gets the shot to fall, and the defender wasn't set. He's called for the block and a three-point play chance here. Chicago making some changes. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Boozer. Dang comes in for Butler. And Ronnie Brewer's subbed in for Richard Hamilton. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Noah. The free throw drops for Rose.
Well, the big story for the Knicks this past year was the acquisition of Carmelo Anthony. Having already signed Amari Stoudemire, the Knicks made the deal for Anthony, and all of a sudden...
Oh, sledgehammer!
That should be illegal, Kevin.
Another bucket, and they are just pulling away here now.
Yep, no doubt about it. They're sprinting. To the finish line.
Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, it's been really sloppy out there.
I understand that they're trying to be aggressive, but still, you can play fast but still play efficiently, but they're not doing that right now.
Here's the three, and the Bulls another three.
Man, that's going to do it. I mean, this thing is pretty much over. They played well.
Well, it has been a bit anticlimactic the end of the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Now, they probably needed more of this earlier, guys. I don't think there's enough time left to get back into the game.
Guys, this is really a case of too little too late, but at least it gives them... something to work off of going into the next game.
Took the contact, knocked it down, and now he'll get a free throw.
Boy, that's a nice finish right there. I mean, he didn't give up on that shot even though he got hit.
Gennaro Pargo, he's checked in for Chicago.
Well, I like what the Bulls have done the last couple of years. They've really put a nice team together. Carlos Boozer, a great scorer and rebounder down on the block, but he has helped defensively with his teammates, and they really seem to work well together on that front line.
Well-executed possession. They controlled the shot. Nicely done.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Carlos Boozer. And Chicago also making a switch. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Noah. And he completes the three-point play. Smooth sailing for Chicago. And they can just dribble the ball until the buzzer.
Yeah, exactly. They got to be happy with the outcome here.
Elated, you're right. And the Knicks with the ball.
Yeah, looks like this one's out of reach.
Yep, just a matter of the clock running out now.
He's done a ton to help his team, guys, and he may have to do more if they're going to come back and win.
Out of bounds, and they'll keep possession. Gibson with it. Here's Pargo. Misses the trade.
This guy's a good three-point shooter, but that was probably from a little bit too far.
Yeah, not what I would call working to get the best shot either.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dream-like games for a coach.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose.